Des here. Just want to show you a little bit today about learning lead guitar and using the scales and what the easiest way around is for playing along with solo guitar. So I'm going to start with the A minor because I love playing over the A minor, it's such a beautiful sound. So if you're starting off and you want to put a melody to an A minor tune, and just to explain for people who don't know, whatever your first chord is, that's the key of the song. So if I'm playing a song and my first chord is A minor, that's 90% going to be the key of the song. Some songs might start with a different chord and end up in an A minor, and it can be an A minor key, but mainly your first chord is going to give you the key of the song. So if I'm playing something and it starts in A minor, I go to my A minor scale. Now the pentatonic scale is what I advise you starting off with. It has, we say 6 notes, but it doubles up on 2. So you have your A and you finish on an A. You start an A, finish on an A. So to explain the pentatonic to you, finger style is 2-1 for the tab players out there. 2-1, 5-4, 3-2, 5-4, 3-2, 5-4. Now the little finger can be sometimes tough to keep straight, but do your best to keep it nice and pointed in so you're not getting any fluff notes. Now my advice is to go back and forth through that after you do. So stop and start. What I mean by that is, see that? So that'll start giving you ideas how a melody would go in, say, blues playing. See that? So sometimes I might even change fingering just to get slides in. I might go, and I go up then to my G note here sometimes, because there is a G note in the scale, so I can jump out of that position to get different tone notes. So I'll do that again. See that? And that's where you'll hear, I like listening to Eric Clapton, you'll hear him doing some of that sort of stuff. So he's really playing over an A minor scale there, using the notes. Now you can move them around to different positions. So there's same notes, I'm going to move them around the board. So I'm going to slide now into the 5th position here. So then I get 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7. So let me do that. So I'll break that down for you, back to the 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7. So I'm going to do that once more for you. Sounds very nice, but all I'm doing is going back and forth on myself there. And sometimes I can flatten this finger to get that lovely. They're very pretty, you'd stick those in. So solo guitar is really about slides, hammer-on, pull-offs. See that? It's simply done, really is just timing is what it is. The great J.J. Cale, I started listening to him back in the day, and he had a beautiful song called A Sensitive Kind. And my advice is, what I did with him was, I learned my scales and I had no idea how to use them, but I started following his voice. So he was singing, "Don't take her for granted, she had a hard time." So that I just followed every word he was singing at the time. Now you're not supposed to play over somebody singing, but you can just to get used to it. Don't take her for granted, she had a hard time. And that'll give you a guideline to start melodies, to know how they work. Because for a beginner starting off, just to jump into playing a solo, even though you know your scales, it's not easy done. So what you're going to do is, if you're a beginner starting off, 50% listening, 50% playing, because it's huge to get the melodies in your head before you're able to put it onto the board. So, as I said, I listen a lot to Clapton, so I'd steal little movements off him, flattening those there, so and so on. Slides and hammer-ons and pull-offs, I'll explain a bit in a few minutes to you about that. So I want to go further up the board on that, so I'm going to bring myself right up down to the low E string here. So there, I finished on that earlier on. Now I'm going 7, 5, 7, 5, 8, 5, and go back on that from your low E. 5, 8, 5, 7, 5, 7. That's nice. So I'm going to run one into the other now. And I can use notes in the center of this scale too. Hear that? And a bend maybe from time to time. So, why I'm teaching the pentatonic scale, it has the least amount of notes in any scale that you're going to learn for blues and rock. But my advice is, don't spend too much time on scales, because then you'll end up in a box of scales that you're sticking too close to the box all the time. So what I would do is pick notes out of the box into the center there. That'll give you more notes you can use without using lots of scales and spending your time sitting around on loads of scales. But at the same time, you need to know your basics. You need to know where you're at. So I know if I'm in trouble, I need to get home, I know there's my A. I need to get home, there's my A there. Open A up here. So if you're doing a solo and you're struggling, make sure you hit a few notes before you jump back to your basics. So always know where home is, I would say. That's a good way of looking at it. So that's that with that position. Now I'm going to move further down into this position here. So I'm only moving the same notes down along the board. So now I have 7, 10, 7, 9, 8, 10, again, 7, 10, 7, 9, 8, 10. So now I'm going to slide one into the other from the 5th position here, through 7, right down onto 10. See that? So that's all lead guitar. It's actually quite simple when you break it down. I'm using those same 6 notes and moving them around the board, or 5 if you want to leave the double out. So, that's a very pretty move, that there. You'll hear it a lot in different styles of music. That's very nice. So that's my advice, to get your pentatonic scale down, and that's the A minor. But if you have a change of key, you can move that shape along the board to get B flat, B, C. So B flat is also known as A sharp, just for anybody out there who's a little bit confused. So if I want to move into B flat, and the guy changes key that I'm backing, and he goes to B, C, it's all there. So there's a G, that's a G note. So once you get your first finger, you find your bass note, then you can work from there. Now, 1 finger per fret I recommend for starting out as well. So don't losing your position unless you're sliding. Unless you're sliding, don't keep it 1 finger per fret. I'll give you a major scale here, just a straight major scale, and show you how the 1 finger per fret works. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do that we were taught as kids. So that's an A major scale. And if you just want to do your pentatonic, go back to your 6 notes on a major scale, A major. And it's all there. So if you're working on a melody, say Tears in Heaven, for example. So your melodies are all around those notes. You'll find them without even looking up the tab. And it'll be great for training your ear as well. So I did a lot more on studying my scales, so I knew where I was going. For example, here's a good one, a G major scale. That's the lower part of the board, and I'm going to work right down to the higher part. Hard to do scales these days. I end up going into solos, but so that's basically it with learning solo guitar, and listen a lot to your blues player and your rock players, whoever you like, could be even country music, and start listening to the melodies and see, can you put a note or two here or there into the melody. I end up even putting a minor feel into a major, because it brightens things up. So that can be nice to do, bringing blues into a straight major scale. It's a lovely touch, and that's really a lot of your scale stuff. So sit down and work out as many scales as you can, but without getting carried away. The pentatonic really will get you through a lot of your guitar life, and then using notes in between. Just hunt around to find the notes in between that you think the melody needs. And that's basically it. And what I want to talk a little bit about before I finish today is the hammer-ons and slides. So I'm hammering there 5 to 7, and back, and I might slide. See that? So that's very pretty. So as well as learning your notes, it's very important to get some slides in and hammer-ons, like I was doing on Californication there. So I'm going to talk to you about that for a second. When I'm playing Californication, I have an open string, and I'm going to hammer on and pull it down as I'm pulling it off. So I hammer and pull down. Yeah? So again. Now in that little section, in case you want to learn it, you have to hit the open string twice. So I'm going, and then that's an open, and hit it again and pull it down. Okay, now. Off with a little bluesy run there. Then here. Now I'm going to show you one thing before I finish, which is really nice to learn. If you're playing a D minor scale, minor I mean, I can use the same notes back here. And out of this position, which is 5, 6 and 7. It's part of a D minor chord, and what you do is, it gives you that lovely little sort of Mark Knopfler-ish or a Clapton feel to it. And what I might do is slide into that, the next position. And then to get back, you'll see might do a hammer-on. So it's easy when you break it down, but just do break it down, because you don't take too much on at one time. Make it nice and simple at the start. Do everything. Every note must be accurately played. No fluff notes just to try and play faster. Play it slow at the start. Make everything nice and accurate so the audience is enjoying what you're doing. As the great J.J. Cale says, why would you play 100 notes when you can play 20 pretty ones? Just pick the pretty ones and make it nice and sweet. So that's it. I'm just going to play you out with Californication, and good luck with your playing, and hope all goes well. Thank you.